What's going on, guys? I wanted to do some more videos on narcissistic personality disorder so that you guys can kind of have your red flags early and you don't have to deal with any bear traps, okay? I heard a nice phrase that psychologists don't see the narcissist, but they see their victims, and it's the same bear footprints. So a lot of times people want to actually catch the bear, but you know a bear was there because branches are broken or berries are scattered on the floor or there's bear poop or the bear footprints are the same. So you don't have to see the bear to know the bear was there. So before you get caught in some bear traps, let me give you guys some phrases so that you know you're dealing with a narcissist. The other thing I want to say is that we talk about narcissists and sometimes we only limit it to romantic relationships. These can be parents, these can be friends. So it's really important just to know what the bear footprints look like, and let's get started. So the first phrase is a phrase you're gonna hear early on in the interaction, and it's, I just need you to not stress me out. Usually this phrase is delivered during some form of love bombing when they're early on pouring on the gifts or the romance. And the reason for that is they want you to associate that lifestyle or that behavior with the message of, you can have this, just don't stress me out. I have a high profile job, or I have a lot of stress, or, I have this going on or that going on, so I just need you to be my peace. Now, most people in normal relationships, obviously you're going in to be peaceful, so this is not something that needs to be said. The reason this is said, again, is the messaging is to connect it with, you can have this lifestyle, you can have these things with me as long as you stay peaceful. The reason this is given to you early on is that when they start to neglect you, not if, when they start to act crazy, when they start to hurt your feelings, when they start to belittle or gaslight you, and you bring to them these things that they are doing, they are going to hit you with the, oh my God, you're stressing me out. I got all this stuff going on, and here you go. You always complaining, you're never happy, no matter what I do, you always got a problem, it's you. That's what that setup is for, okay? You're gonna hear that early on. A normal person, if you bring an issue to them, is going to listen to you, digest it, and if they love you, do better as quickly as possible, okay? The second phrase is, one of my favorites, I've heard this a lot from a lot of different ones, I'm not perfect. So this usually shows up when you presented these issues to them. And again, a normal person would take what you have to say, process it, and try to fix it as soon as possible. The I'm not perfect is a cop-out to the fact that they are not going to change. They are going to continue to do these things. Or what you would see, and this is a pattern that people who have dealt with narcissists for years will see, is that they'll get better. They'll start to love bomb you. They'll seem to be acting right for a short duration of time, but then they'll go back to doing the same thing again. I had a 31-year loop with my father. Like I said, narcissists don't have to be a romantic relationship, but that's how you usually end up in a romantic relationship, is there some type of narcissist that raised you or you were around as a child. So you end up being attracted to that kind of love because that's the kind of love that you were taught was love until you learn better. So I'm not perfect is a cop-out to the fact that they're not going to change. They're not going to do any better. And just to end the argument, you probably didn't get an apology. If it was an apology, you had to ask for it. If you asked for it and you got it, it wasn't sincere. And again, the best apology is change behavior, but they're going to go back to doing, if not that thing, something else. So there's always this loop that happens. But I'm not perfect is a cop-out to end the argument, to give you excuses, to just let you know, hey, I'm not perfect. This is what you're going to be dealing with. So like it or leave it alone. And you'll hear that phrase quite often from a lot of them, okay? My third favorite is, you need to go pray, or you need to get on your knees and ask for forgiveness, or you need to go read your Bible, or you need to hope that God just forgives your ways. This is what they're saying to you, okay? And be mindful that you're not saying it to anybody else. Maybe you're the narcissist. The reason this is so fucked up, yes, I'm talking about God and being fucked up at the same time, is that they can be the Bible thumping, highlights in all different colors, going to church every Sunday, Bible study every Wednesday, never curses at all. Holier than thou person. and still be a narcissist, okay? But because they're doing those things, they claim that that's working on themselves and that you, again, are the problem, okay? These narcissists are the ones who are the deacons, the pastors, the choir directors. They are so nice, helpful, giving, loving to everyone around them. Nobody thinks Deacon so-and-so is, could ever be a monster. But Deacon so-and-so is exactly that. Narcissists have a mask and they have a facade. And somewhere, somebody is going to think that they are amazing, right? They flaunt rainbows. They would never do such a thing. This is also why you have a lot of family members who never believe that a narcissist has done things that you're maybe saying or speaking on, because they've been so fucking amazing to the people that they want to keep this facade up with. So, with that being said, a lot of them can exist in a religious function. That's why you see a lot of, holier than thou, above the law kind of attitudes when it comes to the elites of religion, because they can get away with it. They can do whatever they want to do. They know how to manipulate. They know how to, love bomb. They groom kids, all that different stuff. But they are at a high place in society that they work within. Nobody is going to believe that so-and-so did that because so-and-so just bought somebody a house, the single mama house, or so-and-so just, put somebody through college, or so-and-so is always helpful when it comes to fundraiser time, so-and-so's in church every Sunday leading the prayer, so those type of people and narcissists in general have to have a mask. And so you're not really going to get too many people to believe that that person is a bad person, because they've done their work to make sure nobody's thinking that they're the problem. So I need you to go pray cops out to the fact that they feel like, well, I'm dealing with me. So now if I'm praying to God and I'm doing what I need to do and I'm going to church every Sunday, the problem has to still be you, because I have this excuse or this reason into why I'm working on myself, but you're still the problem, okay? That's not how any of this stuff works. Narcissists lack empathy, but that does not also mean they don't have emotions. So you may see a narcissist. I know one who cried at a funeral, went down the hallway, cried at another funeral, but they were still a narcissist. That doesn't mean they don't have emotions at all, because you'll see them have emotions. They could cry if a family member died. They may really love animals, and you see them being sweet in these little nuances here and there, and then you're like, well, why are you such a monster about XYZ? Or, you don't fucking spend any time with your kids, or, you cussed me out last week. Those type of things can occur, so we confuse them not having empathy with not having any emotion at all, and that's not true. And I believe you can call me doctor on this right now, because there's not a lot of research on narcissists, because they're not the ones to go to therapy or say there's something wrong with me. Why don't you, study my brain for a while? But I believe that there is a spectrum of narcissists, the same way there's a spectrum of people who have autism. It may be very light, it may be very mild, or it could be very extreme. And so really knowing what those bear prints look like, maybe it's a baby bear cub, maybe it's not as much, trash on the ground. Maybe the baby bear cub is kind of sweet, but it's still a baby bear cub, maybe you can pet it. Some learn to go in a circus and do tricks, but that doesn't change the fact that they're a bear. So when you see these bear patterns, you have been forewarned about these red flags. Take them, use them, and y'all have a good one. Share with a friend.